Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Osun Speaks. Thank you for joining in. To those of you who are tuning in for the first time, welcome to Osun Speaks, where every voice is heard. For all inquiries and to contact me directly, you can do so by calling 718-500-5620, or you can email me at osunspeaks@gmail.com. That's osunspeaks@gmail.com. Today, I would like to speak with everyone regarding our pandemic. I just want to take a moment to reflect on this a little bit. So I know that right now the world is in a frenzy, a huge scare, terrified. Everyone's terrified about what's actually going on right now with this COVID-19, this coronavirus situation. And the worry is, how do we exist? How do we return to our everyday normal life? What do we do? What do we do? Everyone's afraid. Everyone's afraid. Well, I ask you this. How have we as people how have we dealt with a pandemic that has been going on since the existence of mankind? Because we have. We've been dealing with a pandemic since the existence of mankind. We continue to live our lives every day, and we call it the norm. Racism, prejudice. This is a pandemic. This is a world plague. This is the ultimate plague. This is the ultimate killer. And we've learned to live with it. We've learned to deal with it, to adapt to it. The one thing I have to say about these plagues such as COVID and Ebola, Lassa fever, and so many other diseases that have plagued the world, pandemic. At least the doctors, at least the world is banding together to try and come up with a cure or treatment for these particular pandemics, for these plagues, for these diseases. Racism, prejudice. There's no doctor saying that they're going to come up with a cure or can come up with a cure. This plagues us to this day, even more so than it did so long ago. It's just that today in 2020, what history has taught us is how to disguise it, how to project it, inflict it upon others without them knowing. This particular pandemic, this particular plague has grown and become so intelligent that it masks itself in the highest of places. It controls nations upon nations. It's highly intelligent. It knows how to move through, divide, torment, and kill. It could kill quietly. Sometimes it just goes all out and it kills loud and bold where everyone can see it. But for the most part, time itself has allowed it to grow and become more intelligent. My people, you say that it's so difficult to live through this pandemic, this COVID situation. You can't stay inside. You must be outside. You must party. You must cook out. You must go to the beach and do all of these things that you weren't even doing before COVID hit. Some, yeah. But it was no rush. It was no, I must go out. I must be out every day. I must. It's now a 911 that you must get out there and you must do all these things because you're being asked to put a hold on it. That's why it's so urgent now. Because you're being asked to cease and desist. Please sit back for a moment and allow this plague to pass us by. Again, I'm going to say, you're being asked to sit back for a moment and allow this plague to pass us by. And so many of you have said, no, I will not. I refuse. I refuse to have anyone tell me that I can't go outside, that I can't mix with my friends and family, that I can't go to a public gym, even though I have the resources in my own home to work out. I'm not being told I can't go to the beach, or I must wear a mask to walk into the store to keep other people safe. Who heard of that? Who's ever heard of that? Why should I? And again, I say, you're being asked to do these things. To not only keep yourself safe, but to keep others safe as well. But excuse me. Who am I to be concerned? Not just with my health, but with yours as well. Who am I to say, wait, maybe I have a compromised immune system. And no, I don't need to be out there, but we do need some sort of course of action to kind of bring things down, just so that we can all be safe. Oh, wait, but who am I? Again, the fire is under you. The urgency is there. That you must be out. You must go out. You must. Not that you need to, but you must and you want because you're being told you can. How do we return to normal? What do we do? We're going to do what we've always done. And again, what we've been doing since the creation of mankind. We've dealt with and again adapt to this pandemic of racism and prejudice that has plagued and continues to plague our world, our lives in such a unique way that when we're faced with it, we smile and we laugh and we keep on going because in reality, it's so sad that we don't even know what's happening. We don't even know what's happening. And to those of you who do understand and you do see it and you do spot it and you're approaching and you're handling the situation in a very intelligent way, I applaud you. Because that's a pandemic that there is no cure for. There could only be a resolution. If a resolution is sought or if it's truly wanted. It's needed. Indeed, it's needed. But is it truly wanted? By far, it's not. Because it's not just racism from one side and prejudice from one side. Prejudice is all around us. Because the prejudice is not about the color of my skin. It's not focused on that alone. When you're prejudiced towards me, you're prejudging me and you don't even know me. And it's possible that you could be making a determination off of the color of my skin or where I'm from or my sexual orientation or my preference in people or the foods that I eat or the foods that I don't eat. Racism. You don't like my race of people. But hey, got a surprise for you. We're all the same people. We're just unique because we're individuals. Just because my skin colors are a little different than yours, that doesn't mean that when you cut me, I'm not going to bleed the same color that you do. Trust me. That doesn't mean that if you shoot me, and if you shoot me properly, I'm not going to die, because if you shoot you properly, you're going to die too. Racism, prejudice. This is a pandemic that we must find solution, resolution, a safe haven from. Let's deal with that pandemic while we're trying our best to deal with this one. Because see, we've never truly dealt with racism or prejudice. We adapted to it. That's how we dealt with it. We've adapted. We've learned to live with it. Some of us laugh it off. That's not a resolution. That's not a solution. Because you're not laughing off COVID, are you? No. So when you're crying and moaning and screaming that you can't stay inside and you can't deal with this medical pandemic that has plagued us. And yes, it's claimed a lot of lives worldwide. But I know another pandemic that's claimed even more lives and continues to claim lives. Claim lives during this pandemic, this medical pandemic. This one pandemic will continue to claim lives long after they've actually released a cure or treatment for this medical pandemic that's going on today. This one pandemic has claimed more lives than any Lassa fever, any HIV, any AIDS, any Black Plague. It has claimed more lives than any tsunami, earthquake, hurricane could ever fathom. It continues to destroy lives even to this day. Right now, it's destroying someone's life. It has left its ugly mark, not a mark from a chicken pox or a measles, but a mark that cosmetically can never be removed, that's been branded, implanted, printed on your mind, on one's very soul. And that's the pandemic, the plague of racism and prejudice. So I implore you, this day, as things and places within our world are reopening, think about the fuss that each and every one of you have put up. How you complained about this medical pandemic, that you just couldn't stay inside just for a month or two, or limit your contact. We have modern technology for everything. I'm reaching millions of people right now via video. Just for a short time, just to bring the numbers down, to try and heal the people. You complained about that. Do you understand that if our ancestors, or even to this day, someone had have said or would say, my good people, if you would just stay inside for a year, there would be no more racism or prejudice. I'd lock myself in the house and happily sit there for that year. To end a beast, a monster of a plague that grows worse with every second that passes. And it grows far more intelligent with every second that passes. So again, I ask you, my good people, we were asked just for a short time to try and assist and clear up a medical pandemic, a medical plague for which a cure or treatment can and will be released. It will. And yet you complain when there are far more dire situations at hand, crucial situations at hand. When in 2020, we have our people being lynched and hunted. Like a wild, rabid beast on the street. Not just our people. There are groups of people out there, and this would fall under the prejudice, where they're killing people just because they socially don't stand up or meet their requirements. Oh, this person has been in trouble all their life, but does that warrant you killing them? Or does that warrant you filing false charges against these individuals? Or padding cases, because that's what they call it in the legal world. You have a lot of prosecutors, DAs, that do that. They pad cases. And they're probably going to hate me after this. Oh, well, so be it. But they do it. Let's put this person away. Get them out of sight, out of society, because they don't meet up to our standards. But that gives you no right to take away their life. Who are you to judge? You're doing 10 times as worse because you have the ability to do it and get away with it. Prejudice, racism. This is a pandemic that will never end. It will never end. And it's sad to say that. It will never end. Why? Because there are too many who don't want it to end. If we truly all came together in a whole and wanted this to end, we could end it. We can end it. Everyone's throwing up hearts and during this medical pandemic that's going on, and they're coming together and they're singing and they're having benefits and raising money for those who are less fortunate. This is a beautiful thing. How about this pandemic of racism and prejudice that keeps the world divided? Let's have fundraisers. Let's come together for this. Let's end it, because we have the power to end it. We have the power to end it. We can. But it's very simple. You won't. There are many who benefit from this one particular pandemic. It feeds into the thoughts of grandeur of others. It gives power to another group of people. It allows another group to control this group. They're saying, hey, if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. Oh, but you are sadly mistaken, because it's very broken. It's very broken. And it needs to be fixed. This is a pandemic that needs to be fixed, my people. And we have the power to fix it as a collective, together. Not blaming one group of people for what their ancestors have done. A group of people who have nothing to do with what took place way back when. You can't hold someone responsible for something that they have not done, that they have not participated in. What we have to do is get together and end this pandemic, this plague. We have to find the resolution for it. There is no pill. There is no shot. The only treatment there is intelligence, love, and peace. Misunderstandings is the foundation for war. Misunderstanding, disrespect, lack of respect leads to misunderstanding. Lack of respect. When you don't like me or don't appreciate me because of the color of my skin or because of my spiritual platform or religion or my sexual orientation or what I eat and don't eat, or because my significant other may be of a different race than I am, this is a lack of respect. If you expect me to respect you, you must respect me in return. Lack of respect leads to misunderstanding, which is the foundation for war. Pride, prejudice, racism, hate, disgust. Let's end it. Not by having a talk today or an event today and everyone's happy together and we came together because of this huge medical pandemic that took place. As soon as we're past it and things are leveling out and they're back to normal, as you call it, yeah, it's going to be business as usual. You still disliking me secretly because of the color of my skin, or this one disliking that one because of their sexual orientation, or this one not liking that one because this one's a Muslim, or this one is that. Come on, people, enough is enough already. What will it take? And history has shown us. So many lives have been lost, and they continue to be lost to this day, and it's disgusting. Self-reflect. Be the peace. Be the solution. Be the resolution. Use this. Not so much as this. Because this resolves nothing. Resolves nothing. It's just going to cause more. Violence begots violence. It's just going to bring more. And nothing will be resolved. Use this. Let's find a solution. Just as the doctors are working hard to find a treatment or a cure for this COVID-19 and so many other diseases that are out there. They're not fighting. They're using the intelligence, their intelligence, what they know, to fight the medical plagues in this world. So now that we have a plague that has been here from, again, the existence of mankind, we can find a resolution. We can find a solution. But we have to be smart about it. Let's do it the right way, my people. Think about it. The pandemic that you've been living your entire life, because you have, whether it was in the forefront or whether it's been hidden. This plague is growing and growing, and it's far more intelligent than we could ever fathom to be. Far more intelligent. It moves through us and devours every piece of us. Not in just death, but it leaves so many of us so scarred. So I implore you, let's find a resolution, a solution for the ultimate pandemic, the ultimate plague. Let's stop feeding it. Let's stop feeding it. Stop feeding it. Allow it to starve and die. Let's destroy that pandemic, that plague. Until next time, my people, may you always be blessed. May the ancestors always uplift you, and may Osun always guide you, cover you in love, light, peace, and prosperity. Remember my 3 L's, our 3 L's: live, love, and laugh. As soon as you're done viewing this video here today, Go, look in the mirror, and that person staring back at you, tell them, I love you. Until next time, remember, osunspeaks@gmail.com. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. You can contact us directly at 718-500-5620. Again, 718-500-5620. Next time, bye-bye.